when you have a dad around, you're less likely to be violent as a male, less likely to go to prison.
So explain to me why all the fathers are leaving.
Exactly. Why are they leaving?
Question for you.
Because
why are they
black
leaving?
women married the government and divorced the men that they were once
tell
with.
I've been consuming a lot of Charlie Kirk content lately, and it's so crazy watching him on college campuses argue with these kids. Particularly this video, this woman is literally arguing from a place of confusion. She does not know what she's talking about. You can clearly see it throughout the video. This is from a few months ago, and it's just really sad to see what's happening on these campuses, but it's really inspiring to see that Charlie Kirk is going on these campuses and shifting people's mentality. Whether or not he shifts this person's mentality, you're going to see in just a few moments. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to RTM News. Make sure to YouTube you are enjoying our videos, so that way they will continually show up in your feed, and then they'll push it out to more people as well. I'm Titus. Let's get into this video.
I noticed you're wearing an American Lives Matter shirt. What is your message to this audience right now by wearing that t-shirt? What is your intended message?
Well, I think that we should put Americans above foreigners.
You know that the whole point of, the movement, that came with Lives Matter was originally for Black Lives Matter?
Yes, I'm intentionally appropriating it. Yeah.
And are you trying to eliminate the movement Black Lives Matter? Are you trying to not bring attention to it?
I mean, well, BLM is not exactly a movement that I would be associated with, but I believe all lives matter. American lives matter. If you're a Black American, Hispanic American, I don't care. All Americans' lives matter.
Would you take the time to recognize a group of people who have been marginalized historically and who are now asking for the same rights, the same privileges as white people in the society by letting
What rights
them...
do white people have that blacks don't?
So the issue is, it's not necessary.
They never answer the question. It's always, here's this blanket statement question that contradicts everything that you're saying. What rights do white people have that black people don't? And none. That's the answer, but let's hear what she has to say.
Written in the law.
Oh, so it's like hidden.
That's the whole point. That's how marginalizing works.
Oh, so it's kind of like, it's like a ghost. You see it one day and you don't. And
because
it's kind of like it's not there.
You as a white privileged person with money have never seen it, doesn't mean it doesn't
What privilege
exist.
do I as a white person have that a black person doesn't? What can a white person do in America that a black person cannot do? Be specific. Name one thing.
So there are so many issues in our society.
Name one thing. No, I gotta drill you in. Name one thing a white person can do that a black person cannot do.
So the issue is racism, okay? You can technically do it, but your life may be put at risk if you find yourself in certain areas where you might not be accepted by your race, and then your life might be in danger.
Okay, what?
Wait, hold on. Is that how it works? Because I feel like the likelihood that you might actually be at risk would be a white person going in the inner city hood neighborhood. I feel like they'd be more risk going there than a black person going into some suburb full of white people. We're gonna talk about safety. Like, that's interesting. It's interesting.
What is racism? Can you define to me what racism is?
Racism, well, I don't have the exact description as it is seen in AP style or Wikipedia.
Can you just talk in the mic, please? I'm sorry, yeah.
Sorry. Racism is the lack of opportunities because of a race, the kind of putting a person to a side.
So can you name a single example in the last 20 years where blacks were discriminated en masse, where they've been put aside? Can you give me a specific example?
You can simply talk about police brutality and mass incarceration.
Literally, what is she talking about? She's arguing from a place of confusion. She does not know what she's talking about. She's literally spouting out everything you've ever heard from the media, anything from the left, these politicians. That's all she's saying. Racism, marginalized groups, police brutality, no, I do know, you don't know. It's ridiculous. It's the most unfruitful dialogue. It is the most regurgitated talking point that's ever been stated. Black Lives Matter, even the shirt, American Lives Matter. I'm so mad about that because Black Lives Matter. I think Black Lives Matter would have had a bigger impact on the world had their slogan been All Lives Matter. If they weren't like a Marxist organization. But if they would have, if the whole intent in trying to highlight how important they think Black lives are and how they want to end police brutality as if it's like so much more significant with the Black population. I mean, he's going to say this later, so I won't spoil. But it's like, if they said all lives matter in the name of like not social justice, but like trying to end some sort of police brutality or something that's actually was happening to Black people in this nation, and they wanted to like have a positive light towards everyone, I feel like all lives matter would have been a better way to go, because then it's like, hey, all lives matter, which means Black lives matter. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but I feel like that would have been more impactful.
What percentage of murders do Black Americans commit in America?
So there you have a point of there is over-policing in Black communities, specifically
murders.
lower income communities.
So wait, Blacks commit murders because of police? I'm not talking about murders of police.
You're twisting my words.
So why do Blacks commit so many murders?
Where did he twist your words, Shawty? What she needs Yo, time to put that thinking cap on. Use your head.
They don't.
So they're 13% of the population, and they do 55% of the murders in America.
So
why?
there, you're not even looking at the background of it. There is over-policing in lower-income communities.
There's under-policing in lower-income communities. Number two, you're trying to say that over-policing, even if that existed, which it doesn't, leads to the fact that 13% of the U.S. population accounts for 55% of the murders.
There is a target on people of color's backs, okay? So when a white person...
Where is it? Said I have a target back in. No, not there.
...sees a person of color...
Prove it.
There is studies, there is research about
give me one example. Give me one piece of evidence that there's a target on Black people's back. In fact, I will submit to you there's the opposite. Black students can get into this college with lower test scores than white students. It's called affirmative action.
So now white people are the people who are struggling?
No.
Are they the marginalized ones?
I will go back to this, though. Can you name a specific example of what a Black person cannot do that a white person can do? And be, again, specific. Anything.
I'm talking about So racism as a whole is not written in the law because that's not allowed anymore. But it still exists.
Then give me an example.
I just told you.
You said police brutality is your example. Why do you think Blacks encounter police so much? They commit more crimes.
There is
and not just like a little bit more.
Policing.
No, there's under policing. And how could you say such a thing? We have defunded the police in Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, largely defunded it. We saw crime rates go up.
I also want you to take in mind that when a whole group their opportunities to succeed economically, let's say they don't get...
We are flip-flopping all over the place. Can't say there's over-policing and that's why crime is so insane. Those are contradicting statements. If there's so much police, crime would go down because police are there to stop the crime. They enforce the laws that we are supposed to adhere to. Like, what are you talking about? There's over-policing, and that's why they're 30% of the population is responsible for 50% of the murders and the crime. How does that correlate at all? It doesn't make any. That's the stupidest thing that has ever been said. Police brutality. You literally. Oh man. Oh, I literally don't know how he's just sitting there so calmly. I'd have been like, you're stupid. You're actually stupid. But he's kind. I'm kind too. But like, I wouldn't. I'm just thinking right now, like looking at it, as an outside observer, that is an idiotic thing to say.
That higher paying job because they chose a white person instead of a Black person, that makes...
Show me an example of where that happened recently.
Wait, that makes an entire community more prone to being lower income. And then that is lower income communities are directly related to like more crime activity.
But let me ask you a question. What percentage of young Blacks have both a mom and a dad raising them?
I cannot think of a percentage right now to give you.
25%. So only 1 out of 4 Blacks in America have a mom and a dad around. Do you think that is a bigger issue to address than racism? Do you think more dads is a better solution, or tackling racism, which you say you can't even see in our laws?
How could dads be connected directly?
Dads are very connected.
What about... Okay.
When you have a dad around, you're less likely to be violent as a male, less likely to go to prison.
So explain to me why all the fathers are leaving.
Exactly. Why are they leaving?
Question for you.
Because
why are
Black
they leaving?
women married the government and divorced the men that they were once with.
Talk about white people right now.
I'm sorry, I'm
white
a
people.
realist, not a racist. Secondly, see,
about
you could
white people.
you could come up to the mic and call me a racist to my face, or are you an intellectual coward and want to shout it from 30 feet away?
Hey, Charlie don't play, man. No, he hit the nail on the head with everything. I mean, even Obama said the fatherless in the black home, fatherless in general, without having, you don't have a father, all these other things you're susceptible to so many other things. Your life is just harder when you don't have a mother and father in the home. It's the most conducive environment for a child to grow and mature and live the best life. That is literally, that's a sign, that's backed by facts. It is 100% true. And that solution, that would be the solution to the black community more so than focusing and harping on racism and police brutality, all these things that you can't quantify through any sort of true metric. It's just talking points that are regurgitated by a political party just to divide and win. All they want is to win by any means necessary. And it's ridiculous. So watch this pendulum has swung towards Trump. They're going to stop focusing on this ridiculousness. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they're just so deep into it at this point that they just won't ever get out, which I'm hoping because I want them to keep losing. But this is ridiculous. This young lady, I feel so bad because she's just literally spouting what she's heard. She does not believe this to her core. She thinks that it's a moral position. So she's saying it, but she doesn't know what she's talking. If it's a girl, I'm assuming this is a girl. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And it's embarrassing to watch. Sad to see. Things are going to change. Charlie Kirk cooked as usual. And the person at the end, oh my gosh. People are just an intellectual coward. You're a racist. He said, I'm a realist. And you can't bring anything to the table to actually provide evidence that he's these things that you're accusing him of, but you just don't like what he's saying, so you call him names. That is the left in a nutshell. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment down your thoughts below. Subscribe again, as I said before. It helps us with the algorithm, helps us with YouTube, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.